Hi, folks. I wanted to make a quick video here talking about sort of introductions to our rhetorical analysis in this last essay that we're going to write for our unit here. So what this is asking us to do is really start to put together all of the pieces that we've worked on over Unit 1, where we're reading and identifying and describing the components of the rhetorical situation. We're identifying main claims and evidences within a person's argument. And then we're also writing and developing our own claims and evidence and using that as support as we analyze other people's arguments in rhetorical situation. So this is all set up really, really well in an introduction to a rhetorical analysis. Because remember, a rhetorical analysis isn't just an analysis of the essay, it's an analysis of an argument. So not what we think about it, not whether we think it's right or wrong, it's how is this composed? What is this author doing to create their argument, and is it effective or not, basically? So the three things I'm really looking for in an introduction should start to address these three things: the rhetorical situation, some rhetorical strategies that an author makes. So basically, you could think of these as choices. So, for example, why did George Bush decide to include biblical references in his 9/11 speech? Why did Albert Einstein decide not to actually answer the question that sixth grader posed to her? Those are choices the author's making that we can start analyzing to figure out, okay, here's the bigger message, or here's how this author created their argument. And then lastly, you should just start hinting at some evaluation and some analysis. So why did the author do things this way, and what is the effect? And obviously, we don't have to explain everything that we're going to talk about in this essay within the intro, but we should touch on it so the reader has this idea. Here's where you're going with your analysis of an argument. So there's kind of a formula to this. It's really kind of nice as a plug and play. Like, make sure you've got these sort of things set up. So we got to start off with always addressing the writer and who that writer is. President George Bush, famous mathematician Albert Einstein. Their text that they used. So what's the name of it, and what type of text is it? Is this a speech? Is this a play? Is this a letter? Is this an essay? We should identify the purpose as well as the message of that text. So kind of here's the author's big idea. And then I should address at least some of the argumentative choices that an author makes. So this could be, is this author using a vindictive tone? Like, are they trying to get back at someone? Or is this allusions to the Bible or to historical figures? Those are choices that an author makes. And again, highlighted here because we haven't specifically addressed it yet. And last thing we need to address is the audience. So who was the intended primary audience for whatever it is we're reading or consuming? So let's look at what this looks like in practice. So here's an introduction to a rhetorical analysis that ended up being like about 3 pages. So novelist Amy Tan, in her narrative essay, Fish Cheeks, boom, writer, credentials, and text already taken care of. She recounts an embarrassing Christmas Eve dinner when she was 14 years old. So a brief summary, right? So I've got not only what the text is, but what type of text it is, and a brief summary of that text, all accomplished in one well-written sentence. And notice that awesome verb, recounts. Doesn't just say writes a story, or doesn't tell an embarrassing Christmas Eve dinner, tell about. Recount is a really much more powerful verb than like says or tells or writes. Tan's purpose is to convey, clear addressing of purpose, and then she goes into message here too. And again, love that verb convey. Like, this is what I'm trying to express. This is what I'm trying to get my audience to understand, to convey. The idea that at 14, she was not fully able to recognize the love her mother had for her or the sacrifices she made. Boom. There, we've started to address the style and the choice that Amy Tan adopted in this essay. She had sentimental feelings in order to appeal to similar feelings, or sentimental tone, in order to appeal to similar feelings and experiences in her adult readers, right? Specifically, we're looking at the audience, and my guess would be the fact that adults are reading this. That's the primary target for Amy Tan. That's going to play a role in this person's analysis as they finish writing the rest of their essay. This works really, really well for an introduction to a rhetorical analysis, because these couple of sentences have dual purpose in not only recognizing, purpose and message and argument style and audience, they're also kind of like your thesis, because these things are arguable and defensible and specific. I could argue that Amy Tan's purpose is something else. I could argue that she's using a different type of tone for a different effect and a different readership. Those are things that you're going to prove to me with evidence throughout the rest of your paper. So our introduction does kind of double duty here.